Next case. As Sonia and her lawyer exit the courtroom, piece of cake. You know I'm going to Lindsay Lohan this and do like 2 hours before my boss gets me off and back at my desk. Meanwhile, interior Roosevelt Avenue subway bathroom stall, early morning. Eugenie, a stylish homeless woman, preciously holds a beat-up wooden spoon that was once quite fancy. As she admires it, the camera pulls out to reveal that she is standing inside an abandoned bathroom stall packed to the brim and piled high with makeshift containers full of all kinds of spoons. She puts the spoon in one of the containers and settles herself down to sleep in a teeny section on top of some of the containers where blankets and Duane Reade shopping bags full of newspapers have been laid out for a bed. Cut to interior Roosevelt Avenue subway bathroom stall, early morning. Eugenie is startled awake by MTA police raiding her home. They kick her out of the bathroom by force, and as a crowd gathers, she watches in panic. A woman officer starts to barricade the door, and Eugenie tries to talk her out of it, but she gets pushed away and the door gets locked. A sticker labeled "Do Not Enter" by order of NYC police is slapped on the door. Roosevelt Avenue subway sidewalk, afternoon. Eugenie stands just outside the subway entrance, double doors, in a state of panic and disarray, the way a hoarder does when someone messes with their stuff. Eventually, Jonathan, older homeless man in a pair of clean clothes, dirty nails, and a smile as bright as sunshine, approaches Eugenie. "Hey, Lady E." She doesn't respond because she's lost in her own world of panic. She's talking to herself, cursing out the officers, and worried about who's touching and doing what with her stuff. Jonathan, "Hey, Lady E, look at me. Slow down, Bumblebee." He sings a Frank Sinatra-type song, and it works. Eugenie slowly shifts from being in her own world to noticing the one around her. She follows his voice and finally acknowledges him. "Jonathan." And that's as far as I had.
What did you learn?
Well, the big thing that I learned is that this story is Sonia's story. And I learned also about trying to really write into the conflict right away. So I tried to do that here, where I'm just jumping right into it and then, setting it up, introducing the protagonists, the main characters of the film right away also, so that the audience knows, okay, these are the main people I'm going to have to start caring about. Yeah, so those are all the things I tried to figure out here. And as you know, you saw the last one. It's obviously very, very different from the spoon scene where she's in the homeless shelter and she's freaking out about the spoon, not the red spoon and stuff, which may still be there, but maybe in a different way later.
Well, right now it's a rewrite.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Which is what writing is all about.
Yeah. So I feel like this is setting up more that it's going to be Sonia's story with Eugenie sort of as like a catalyst in a way to her, journey.
Okay.
And there's a relationship there between the two of them. It's not obvious now. The big surprise is that they're related. But you don't know that yet. Yeah. Yeah.
And what is Sonia's fatal flaw?
I think her fatal flaw is that she, what was her fatal flaw? Her fatal flaw is that, she hasn't figured out she hasn't dealt with like the trauma of her relationship with her mother.
Okay, but that's not a flaw. That's a problem.
Okay.
What is her internal flaw? What is the lesson that she must learn about herself in order for the story to resolve? A flaw is a character flaw. It's an emotional fracture. It's something that's missing.
I feel like I'm saying, oh, she's cocky, but that's a result of her flaw. Like the way she moves in the world is a result of her flaw. I think it has something to do with forgiveness, with forgiving her mother or forgiving herself or something like that.
So the cockiness, which is what I was the inflated pride, I don't think that's reductive. I actually think that's a symptom.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel
of
like
her flaw.
of her flaw, but I guess she's covering up. She's like not we're ready to face something, I think.
Okay.
But I don't, that's not a flaw either.
Well, no, it's not that. It's that I want you to get more specific about the very specific thing that is her flaw between her and her mother.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Right? Like,
maybe like getting over, like forgiving her or not being
more specific.
more specific. Okay.
I'll give you an example. In Good Bread Alley,
Okay.
which is my second play, the little girl Miriam
Yeah.
was sent away by her mother to get a better education because her mom was a single mom, of course, so she sent her to the family that, you know, close to the church and the respectable family. And during that time, the little girl gets abused by the preacher in the town.
Right.
And the mother finds this out because the aunt who has been taking care of little Miriam come to visit the mother, Celia. And this preacher also happens to show up in town. Now, what then ensues is that the mom finds out her daughter, who she sent to a safe place, is actually being abused.
Right.
Okay? That's the fact. So the mom has all this fucking guilt. Right. She then proceeds to operate throughout the entire story from a place of guilt.
Okay.
And it almost makes her daughter invisible to her. She keeps pushing her away and pushing her away. Instead of looking at what happened to my child, she blames herself. She then tries to distance herself from her child because she feels like it's my fault that she got abused. I'm a bad influence. I'm bad luck. I'm evil. I'm a bad charm because the same thing happened to her, right? Her fatal flaw is that she's so wrapped up in her sense of personal failure or unworthiness that she can't even see the people right in front of her who love her dearly and ferociously. And that perhaps even if she had less and she lived in a rough neighborhood, which is why her daughter wasn't living with her, her daughter didn't want the nice fancy upbringing with the aunt up north. Right. She didn't want the church and the doilies and the debutantes. She's like, I want to be down here with you in Good Bread Alley, which is like the Wild Wild West, the 1920s liquor town. You know, she was not, but I want to be in my mama's house with my mama. And had I been with my mama, my mama would have protected me with her gun, right? So Celia's personal flaw was she was a gangster rough woman. She wanted her daughter to have something better. So she thought in order for her daughter to have that, she had to send her away to someone who had the pretensions of upper middle class, right moral fiber. Right. When really all the little girl needed was love. Why can't the mother see that all the little girl needed was love? And you can have love in a home that's rough, that's poor, that doesn't have a daddy. You know, Celia went to church. She had a gun. She protected her kid from the Klan. That's more than her aunt in the upper middle class neighborhood could do, right? Her mom ran numbers. Her mom ran liquor to the Klan. She had plenty of money. She could keep her daughter at home, you know, tutor her. Yeah. Her fatal flaw was that she didn't see her own worthiness, her own love. She didn't see that just because she was rough and uneducated, that she was smart. And that your children do what you do, not what you say, right? She was so afraid her daughter was going to see her being a gangster or having a man over that was kind of a little rough, but she loved him. And, you know, he was rough, but he loved her and he was good to her. It wasn't the perfect family. Right. She had shame. Right. So she missed her daughter's love. And her daughter desperately needed her love. She didn't need the pretensions of upper middle class society. Right? It didn't protect her. She thought little black girls in the 20s need to be protected from, well, guess what? She sent her to one place where we're all supposed to be protected, the black church, and the minister rapes her daughter. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And that character spends the entire play having problem after problem because she won't see the simple, what you have to offer is good. It doesn't look like the storybooks and it doesn't look perfect, but guess what? Your kid would have been protected. She would have had a tutor. You could have privately tutored her. She would have had education. You go to church, you would have taken her to church, right? You could have put her in the apartment upstairs and lived with her there, and she'd never seen the gambling downstairs. But she would have been safe. Something that all of the middle class upbringing couldn't give her.
Right.
So this is what the dramaturg who was working with me at the Public said. She's like, so I need to see that fatal flaw show up in scene after scene after scene after scene after scene.
Okay.
Create a new problem, right?
Okay.
So, and I didn't do it the first time. I wrote the whole thing first.
Right.
Right? And then I fine-tune the problems, which is why I always tell people, write the whole thing. Then go back and use the outline, which I sent you guys, which I don't think you should look at it until you finish your first draft. And I always suggest that you write the first draft of whatever you're writing. Don't worry about it being good. Don't worry about it being pretty. Don't worry about typos. I just want you to finish it. And then bring it to class and let's work on it. Because we can't work until you rewrite. And we can't rewrite until you write. Right? Even if it's a fucking journal entry. My entire play, which is why I shared my TED Talk with you, was it was a journal entry. It was a complete journal. What happened in 5th grade? Okay, I had this crazy thing with this teacher. Oh, well, why? Oh, because my parents were crazy hippies, so it's meant that I was going to be anti-establishment anyway. Oh, okay, great. So then what happened with the teacher? Okay, so then there was show and tell. It was a journal entry. And then I invited my friends over and I turned on the recorder. And they were like, okay, tell us about this. Like, you mentioned it before, but like, to really tell it now. And I told it. And they were like, oh, great. Okay. Well, let me tell it from the perspective of my father. Okay, great. Let me tell it from the perspective of little April. Not grown-up April looking back on it going, that's some crazy shit. But little 6-year-old April going, my dad's a badass and I'm going to be a badass too, right? Really stepping into the characters, even if they're not you. You will learn a lot by saying this very first scene that you did, which is quite good, I might add.
Thank you.
It feels like an episode of Good Wife. It feels episodic.
Okay.
That's your voice. You got it.
Okay.
It feels like an episodic. So I would then write that scene from the perspective of the lawyer. Not to use in your script. Maybe you will, maybe you won't.
Right, gotcha.
But then write it from Sonia's point of view. Because when you do, and which is what I learned, when I spoke as the other character, because even to this day, if I go ask my dad, so what happened in that room? It's completely different. It's completely different. It's completely different. And then I asked my mom what happened. It was completely different. My mother was like, he was embarrassing. It was ridiculous. It was the most horrible thing. I just kept telling him, shut up. Just shut up. You're embarrassing us. They're going to think we're the crazy, angry Black people. We're already in a Volkswagen van with peace signs on it. It's enough. Just stop it. Just stop it. Even Black people think we're strange. Like, my mother was just like, we were, oh my God. We were like the Partridge Family gone wrong. Like my mother, for my mother, it had nothing to do with being Black.
Right.
With my mother, it had everything to do with, we're not normal.
Right.
we're not normal. We recycle. I ride the bike.
We recycle.
Right. My mother rode me to school, to preschool on a bike to save gas. I mean, that's fine. It would be okay to be that person now, but in a working class Black neighborhood in 1979, where people go to church and we're hippies and we have beanbags and white people coming over to smoke pot and talk about the revolution, we were weirdos. So my mother's take on that scene was like, race, Africa, no. He's too radical. Couldn't he just be quiet? He wouldn't even put on a suit. Like totally. That my mother saw that completely differently. Mrs. Green was like, You guys are just over the top with this, like, it's show and tell. Like, she could have brought in like a little statue or something from Africa. Like, why did that be so over the top? Like, you know, and my dad at the time she was trying to silence my child. That's what they do in the revolution. They silence you. Totally. That's how he saw that story. And I was like, that's right. Because my dad told me about Joseph C. K. He's a badass. Plus, mostly, I was like, my dad told me the story about an African prince who's going to be my husband. So my dad had no idea that giving me this example of using your own agency, your own voice, was really triggered something in me, mostly because the guy was totally fucking hot.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to an all-white school where there were no cute little black boys. So my dad shows me this picture of this little black boy. He's 17. He looks like the next door neighbor who I'm not allowed to talk to. And I was like, oh, a black revolutionary is my boyfriend. So of course I go to school and I'm like, I'm just like my boyfriend, a black revolutionary. So when you look at the story from the lens of each character, each character's stakes are irreverent, extremely high. Like, what's really important to Sonia?
Yeah.
You spend the first introduction talking about what she's wearing. Why?
Because that's what matters to her right now.
Okay! She is fucking fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay? She has 2 assistants. They schedule her flights back and forth to her country house, okay? She takes a 2-hour lunch and to get her hair blown out straight on 5th Avenue before she goes to any meetings.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly.
She is a wheeler and dealer.
Yep.
She is perfect. And you did that just in simple stage directions. What happens if we hear that from her perspective? Where does she have to be right now? Why is she here doing this? And how does she feel about 200 hours? 200 hours! Right. How many weeks is that? Wait, let's do some math. I did it math. That's at least a month, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's at least a month. Yep.
She can't go to work.
No.
And she's going to have to be in a soup kitchen.
Yeah, exactly.
In the Lower East Side. She doesn't even know what the Lower East Side looks like.
Yeah.
She doesn't take cabs in New York City. She has a driver,
right,
like Big in Sex and the City. Like, she does nothing about this. It's going to be dirty. Yeah. She might see roaches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Smell a lot of dirty things, and
I want to hear that because it will deepen the stakes of the scene. And then I want to hear it from the judge's perspective. Yeah. Because the judge is looking at this bitch with her fucking $10,000 watch on. Oh, yeah. And the suit from, oh my gosh, Versace that she bought at, what's the big store in 5th Avenue begins with the B?
Bergdorf.
From Bergdorf, right? Where you can't even walk through the door unless you plan on buying a scarf for $5,000. Yeah. And they don't let you get too far in the store unless they've clearly assessed that you can buy something for $5,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in the judge's mind, and this is how you raise the stakes, and it makes the story more exciting. In the judge's mind, what would happen if the judge looked at that suit and was like, I walked in Bergdorf's and I wanted that suit. And I couldn't get it because I didn't have an American Express black.
Platinum.
I only had the platinum card with I couldn't get that suit. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't even bother to call another store to see if they had the size. They looked at me like trash. And this bitch comes in here with my suit on. 200 out. Really raise the stakes by putting it in the mind. And the reason that I say this is because it's in the writing. I can hear that the judge is like, shut the fuck up, you privileged little rich bitch. Yeah. It's there. It's there. Yeah. And the lawyer who's like, we're gonna be out of here in a minute. And the judge is like, this is my chance to get those 5th Avenue bitches. Yeah. Who talked about my hair not being straight enough in law school and the fact that I was on scholarship.
Right, exactly. Exactly, yeah.
The lawyer is actually from the judge is from the working class family done good, and she still remembers her roots. These 2 chicks across from her have gotten as far away from their roots as possible.
As possible, yeah.
They were like immigrants. They're like, we don't go downtown unless it's Soho, and let me take a car.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, their whole family lives in Queens.
Right. They
Like,
do. Perfect. Jackson Heights. Yep.
or they live like in, Maine, and they eat
Right.
spam and pork and beans.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about those people.
Right.
Like, I know lots of sort of middle class intellectuals in New York who you're like, oh yeah, my mom lives in a trailer in Maine. Seriously. And you're giving me all this pretension right now. Your mom lives in a trailer. I'm sure there's wrong with living in a trailer, but stop acting like you didn't live in a trailer. Like, pipe down. Stop being pretentious. These people, that's the fatal flaw. It's the running away from. So each scene, drop it in. And I think the key to figuring out what the next problem will be is to tell the scene in each of those voices.
Yeah, that's great.
So that if the next scene is the trip down to the shelter, or we're actually in the shelter, it will totally be informed by all of the subconscious stuff that came out of their mouths.
Yeah.
Right? And you're going to take us to that shelter. In Sonia's mind.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh. I was reading Don't Ask Me Why. Oh, I do know why. I went on a date. This was a while ago, not recently. I'm not dating right now. I am in mourning. Okay. I'm sitting Shiva for my love life. But if you go under the Brooklyn Bridge, where they have that big glass merry-go-round, it's right there on the water. It's so shishi, they're building all these lofts that are basically like, this used to be an automotive car repair, but now we're making it to a loft. But we're going to leave all the stuff from the automotive in there, and we're going to charge you $5 million.
Yeah.
And they're all this big. And you're like, this neighborhood is so fucking pretentious.
Like, it used to be Dumbo. It was like drug dealers. And
Right. Okay. So we're walking, and this is supposed to be an impressive date. And I was like, wow, this is really fancy. And as we walk through a pathway, cobblestones, these beautiful ficus trees that have been planted, all these flowers in like an overhang. It's so romantic. 5 rats scurry across in front of us. And I don't mean rats. I mean pigeon killing rats. Have you seen this video where the rat takes down a pigeon? Oh my fucking God. I was like, oh. And it was like all of this pretension, and you have a rat problem. Where there's an ice cream truck and an ice cream cone that in Manhattan is $2. It's $6.
Oh.
How are you charging me $6 for a dairy? It's not even ice cream. It's ice cream.
Not even ice cream.
How are you charging me $6 for this when you got rats bigger than raccoons running around on these expensive cobblestones? I was like, it was like all of this pretension, and you've not taken care of the basics.
Right.
And I was like, why is there this rat problem? It's like, oh, well, since they built up Dumbo and it's all fancy and they have all these restaurants and all these outside vendors and food trucks, the rats from New York, they put down more poison in the subway, and the rats are like, yo, fuck that, it's summer. We're going to swim to Brooklyn. I was like, are you kidding me? He's like, no, let's go to the water's edge. I was like, I don't want to go rat hunting. He's like, no, it's true. Manhattan was having a problem. As gentrification moves and they start building up a new section, they move to it. They move from borough to borough. The rats that could survive the water, of course they're going to mutate because there's so much shit in the water. Yeah. And when we went to the water's edge, there were rats swimming.
Oh.
And I was like, rats didn't swim. He was like,
yeah,
they could jump on debris and they could float, but the ones that survive
are like badass rats.
Yeah, so they've survived New York City poisoning.
Yeah.
In the subway, so they're mutating, they're becoming bigger, and they're looking for more food, and they're looking for places where there's new stuff.
God. Oh.
And so it just gave me, and so I went and looked at my building. I was like, is my building one of the hot spots? And I was like, no, because I live in a working class neighborhood. I don't live in a rich neighborhood, which was the irony of it.
It's the irony, yeah.
It's Williamsburg. It's the gentrified neighborhoods where people are charging $4,000 a month for a closet.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I live in over 1,000 feet, and I ain't got no rats. But everybody in my building works in construction or is a post office or works for the post office, right? And the building's not glamorous, it's just brick. And the rent's reasonable, but I ain't got no rats.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely. Or yeah.
Right? It's very interesting. And all of the residents sweep the floor. You can eat off of the hallway floors.
Mm-hmm.
Garbage is left in the chute for more than an hour. I could hear the super and his assistant moving in. It's like people take pride in what they have and they work really hard for it. There's no pretension about it at all. If you leave your shit out, somebody's like, we don't have rats, we can't afford it, move your shit or I'll move it. Or they'll move it for you.
Yeah.
And so I'm down here in this fancy neighborhood trying to be impressed by this date. And I was like, that's nice. And the ice cream cone was $6 fucking.
That's insane.
And the gardener, well, you know, some dude, you know, from Central America is making a killing, and I'm very happy for his contracting company. But there are huge rats in the middle of the daytime running across people's feet. I mean, not hiding, not surreptitiously. So it was like, it's like that juxtaposition, that fakeness is what is like brewing in that courtroom.
Yes.
Make it look good from the outside.
Yeah.
But really, your soul looks a little dirty, like some rats have been hanging out in it. So I'm going to send you someplace where there's real rats so you can clean up your soul.
Yes, exactly.
That feels like the sort of moral crisis happening that you're laying out. And because it's so active, because it occurs in the midst of a high stakes problem, is she going to go to jail? Is she not going to go to jail? And we know it's high stakes because the other women are so sure that she's not.
Right.
The lawyer and she are so sure. That automatically makes it high stakes. We're like, oh, it can't be that sure. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here watching it. And
but the thing is, she thinks it's high stakes because of who she is. Like, she's like, oh, I'm going to get off. Like, you know, I'm badass, you know, wheeler dealer, Goldman Sachs, whatever. I'm, you know, I'm back for lunch, you know. And
your viewers are like, this bitch is going down. Like it's you build it into the scene. The she's going down.
Yeah.
She's going down. That's like if I'm watching, I'm like, oh yeah, you got your shit. You coming wearing that suit downtown at Suit Kitchen, you got rats now. Yeah.
Good try.
Going down.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So that's your homework. Write it from their 3 different points of views. Great. Come back with the next scene, and I think you're gonna nail down that fatal flaw. Drop in another problem where it comes up and it blocks her from getting something. Okay. Drop in. And of course, the fatal flaw has to do with her mother. All problems have to do with mommy-daddy issues. All of them. That's why everybody needs to be in therapy. Okay, did everybody get the book? Getting the Love You Want? Did everybody get the? Okay, Kristen, you're new to my madness, so you get a pass. Iona?
Yes.
You're new to this class though. You're not new. You're not new to Iona is in my acting class. She's taking another writing thing with me. But now Iona's moving to the writing class because she's an insane maniac who's really talented and needs to make a movie.
Aww.
And she didn't know that until I told her. So you know, Kristen, I'm a little bit of a sort of mad genius. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, you should totally make a movie. Today, let's do it. But I've never made a movie. That's okay. We're gonna do it like in a couple of weeks. Okay, great. So let's start writing. I believe in that. Like Sheetal's acting career, she's like auditioning all over the place. She's writing this movie. She doesn't know that she's going to be making another movie shortly, based on her reel. I haven't told Sheetal this yet. Okay. Sheetal will have done 2 more films by the end of this year. She's already shot a 9-minute film with me earlier this year and done a showcase.
Nice.
Yeah, her 9-minute film is her reel. It's like
my reel.
It's like, it's a movie. It's a movie that we shot in one day. All about Sheetal. Okay.
Amazing.
So
thank you, Iona.
So like
that's awesome.
Just get on this boat. And Sheetal,
do it.
This is your genius here.
Thank you. Yay.
I just had to scream at you a couple of times, and then like you were like, oh my God. It was like twice.
Yeah, because I was denying that it's not Eugene. I wanted it to be her story so bad, but I was like, yeah, I just gotta accept it. It's not. It's Sonia's story, and just do it. So
We write what we know,
yeah,
and that's all I'm gonna say. We write what we know.
yeah.
I know pretension.
Yeah.
I know.
So do I.
Right? I was like, it's the classic New Yorker. I had to leave Manhattan now, and I'm moving to the outer borough. I can't do cocktails. I can't have people over because I'm in an outer borough. I don't really live in New York. But you know what? In the outer borough, I can take vacations because I'm not paying to live in Manhattan. I can have space in my apartment. I can have expensive furniture.
Hey,
That's
In
nice.
Manhattan, I have to buy one bag of food from Trader Joe's a month.
Oh man.
I can't go in cabs. I can't do anything because I am paying to live in Manhattan and look rich.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting sort of gentrification thing,
it is.
right? And I ask people all of the time, why are you in Manhattan paying $4,000 in rent? That's twice a mortgage. That's 3 times a mortgage because of the address.
Yeah.
Without like taking a breath, people have no problem saying because of the address.
Yeah.
What you would give up because of the address.
Hmm.
I could go on and on and on about this because I was just looking for a house. And in the housing market, they tell you what house you can afford. Everyone looks for a house they can afford, negotiates the deal. It's always going to end up being $15,000 or $20,000 more. Why would you buy the house that you can afford, as opposed to if you can afford a house for $350,000? Why don't you get a house for $250,000 so you have more income?
Yeah.
Because the American it's what caused the crash in 2008.
Yeah.
People buying 5-bedroom houses and they have 1 kid.
Yeah.
Because you want to appear. So that tension about pretension. And remember, the pretentiousness is a symptom. What is the illness?
Yeah.
Because once you figure out the character's illness,
Right.
then you can create all kinds of symptoms. And just fuck them up. Like create problems that really fuck them up. Like I want a rat to bite Sonia.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so wrong.
No, I do too.
I just want to rat, or I want her to like take some soup and finally get a break and get some soup, and there's a big old rat floating, blinking his eyes. I'm such a horrible person. Okay, I'm such a horrible person, but there it is.
Yeah.
Yay! Go Sheila!
Thank you.
All right, next victim. Okay, who's gonna be next? So Sheila, I emailed you. Ideally, I'd like somebody else to read the other person's stuff. So I emailed you Iona's.
Okay.
Oh my God, you got it. Nice. I wasn't even sure if you got it.
Girl, stop playing.
Dear.
Stop
Oh,
playing there.
dear.
Once you send it into the ether, it's too late.
Oh.
What happens on the internet stays
on the internet. I was like, what you think was gonna happen, girl? We here.
I literally so this was so hard to write 15 pages. Like writing the feature was so much easier than writing a short.
Oh yeah, it's always harder to write a short.
Oh my God, why? It's so hard because you come up with so many details and then you're like, I can't have that because now this is 10 pages and I need the story to be like 10 pages.
Yeah.
So.
It's true. It's harder.
Yeah. I feel like Sheila, Iona, you guys have a similar disease.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to give you, and I'm your medication. Okay.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I'm your Xanax for this problem. Or would you prefer Klonopin? Klonopin is my drug of choice.
I don't know.
So just call me.
Either or.
I'm your Klonopin.
Okay. Thank you.
I say, Sheila, Iona, why don't you write a story? And you guys go, this could be great. So as a child, my character really had like a gender identity process. Yes. So they thought about changing their identity, but then they didn't. So then they lived in the opposite identity. Then they went to school and then they fell in love with someone who didn't have this identity process. And I'm like listening to the two of you tell a story. Hi, So I'm like listening to the two of you tell a story, and I was like, so that's someone's memoir. It's their life. Yes. And you're going to, so you're writing a $50 billion Hollywood film right now.
Yeah.
As your first project.
Probably not a good idea.
So why don't we try just a tiny adjustment? Just think about this just for a minute. What if you just write a story about the lady going to the corner store and discovering they have organic milk? And that's it. And you guys are like, but what happened? I mean, we need her background, and like there needs to be some drama, and then we need to. How about the lady goes to the little ghetto store that usually just sells beer from behind a bulletproof glass window, and today they say we have organic milk. A simple, ordinary thing like that.
I need to try that.
But the two of you have like a brain simmer genius thing going on. So you're like, yes, and I will write The Color Purple, Apocalypse Now, as my first film. I will have complicated characters with all different kinds of psychological issues that are unaddressed, and backstories and flashbacks. And this is what I'm going to do the first time I write. Okay, I'm ready. And then you guys do it, and you're like, "What's it, April?" But don't you see? That's what I wrote. I'm like, it's 30 pages. Like you can't do all of that in 30 pages. And then the two of you look at me like, this woman is insane. This is what she told me to do. I fucking did it. I was like, I'm so tired of rewriting for her. I was like, just to the corner to get some milk. She didn't even have a problem. Just to the corner, get some milk. Just to the corner to get some milk, okay? Just simple. Go to your bathroom. Find out you have your first white chin hair. Crisis. Really simple. Start simply. Tell me a simple story. Simple. Simple. So I'm asking you to be dumb for the first time that you write. And I know that that's very hard for you, Sheetal and Iona, because you're very, 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 very brainy smart. I want you to write dumb. But it's not helping you right now.
No.
Because you're trying to write every story. You're like, I'm going to die in like 10 years. So I really need to create my genre and write all 50 of them this year. Why don't I just throw it all in? I was like, you don't have to be Faulkner in a year. You don't have to be Toni Morrison in a year. Yes, you do. Just go to the store for some milk, and it's organic. All right? Who do we have that's joined us? Oh my God, Kiana, a blast from my past. What is happening? What are you doing on this call? Are you Hillary's substitute?
Wait a minute. Hold on. I do.
You just muted yourself. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. No, I got your email. I was like, oh. I was up. I had to take my boyfriend to the airport. So I was like, it's 7:00 in the morning. What else do I need to do today?
Kiana and I did a really great play together. Well, it wasn't great. It was really depressing. We just got raped over and over and over again.
Oh my God.
A few years ago. No, it's Africa during the Civil War.
Oh.
So that's all theater. For the last 10 years, that's all theaters have been making. They're like, oh, we need an African play about women that's feminist.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, let's do it during the Civil War. What happened? Well, all the women just got raped. In camp. They were basically in concentration camps. They weren't gassed. They were just raped because that was oh, and they cooked food.
They cooked food. It was pretty.
And so so for like, what is that, like 2004 to about 2015? That's all plays were about. Okay, great. And Kiana and I did one of them, and we cried a lot. A lot. We got raped. We got raped a lot, and it was it was a bummer. But we had a lot of fun, and we ate a lot of Ben and Jerry's.
We did.
So And I know that you are taking this class so that you can write a play about not being raped.
Yes, that would be good. A different point of view. Different something new.
Something happened. And who is this that's on 347-922-8142?
It's Cynthia.
Cynthia, why you don't ever have video, Cynthia? Why you don't never have video? This is your second class with me. Why you ain't never got video? Turn on the video. We want to see you. Dang. She's a problem. Cynthia took my class, Focus, Finish, and Fund Your Script. And she had she finished her short while having a brain hemorrhage from my class. And she was really courageous. Oh my God. Several people have bought the recording of that class and they were like, what'd you do to those women? And I was like, I promised them 40 pages a week.
It was great.
Then you finished it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what the problem was, but somebody else took it. They were like, oh my God, that class is scary. I was like, it wasn't that scary. Was it scary, Cynthia?
I don't think it was scary. I just think the workload, it's just people being able to handle the workload.
What's 40 pages a week?
It takes a lot of discipline. It took a lot of discipline to get it done.
See, if you were on a video, you could see my face right now, Cynthia, because I'm laughing at you. I'm laughing at you. I'm going, what's 40 pages? Shit, I do that in my sleep. Y'all, I can do 40 pages right now. Could you do 40 pages a week for me, Sheetal? No, I'm asking wrong.
Listen.
She probably could. She's an overachiever. Yes. But you be finished?
And now I'm back. Overachieve again.
Come on, girl. We're going to do it now. So before we move on to Iona, Kiana, Cynthia, do you have writing that you want to share with us or questions?
I'll let you go first, Cynthia.
I'm pulling my stuff up now. I have a lot of stuff.
Okay. I'm going to let you do that. Sheetal, can you share your screen and read Iona's, and then we're going to talk about it.
Okay. Share screen. Okay, so. Okay, can you all see that? I can't hear anybody.
Everybody's muted.
Okay.
So that we can just hear you.
Okay.
All right. Great.
Okay. The Big Leap by Iona Layton. Fade in, interior recording studio night. Eleanor, a woman 35 plus, slightly awkward but charming. Agoraphobe, dressed like a librarian from an 80s movie, big glasses, big hair, and cardigan sweater, appears to be talking to a large audience of people and directing her speech to her camera. Remember, you are loved and never judged when you believe in yourself. Be courageous. Dare to live the life of your dreams. Take a big leap into the great beyond. Your future self will thank you, and hopefully thank me too.
I'm sorry, I gotta be myself.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Big Leap. Join me next week, same place, same time. If you enjoyed this video, do not hesitate to like it. You can also follow me on Birdie, Instant Friends, and Snapped. As always, together we move forward. Our view is expanded to reveal that Eleanor is dressed outdated and professional on top, but wearing pajama bottoms and slippers on her bottom half. Great episode, everybody, right? So good. Eleanor jumps up and down. What'd you think, Fred? Left you speechless, huh? Fred, a stuffed pink walrus, is staring right back at her. Let's see if we have any more followers. Eleanor grabs Fred and her camera, sits at her desk, plugs her camera into her laptop, and starts loading the video. As she loads the video, she talks to Fred and checks her YouView account. All right, YouView, show me what you got. Oh, look at this, Fred, a new follower and a new comments. We are finally reaching people, helping them to move forward and make the big leap. Too much? Okay, the new follower is I hump you long time. Oh, well, that is certainly different. Obviously, they need help with a sexual addiction. I am honored that he or she chose me. And let's see our comment. Why are you so ugly, you stupid, dummy tard? Eleanor sits and stares at the screen for a few moments. We read it on the screen. Why are you so ugly, you stupid, dummy tard. Oh, God, okay. Well, that's obviously not a thing. I've never heard that word before. Is it a real word? Should we report them? It's our 5th comment ever. We're finally gaining traction. What do you think, Fred? Fred stares blankly at Eleanor. We see her view screen that shows 10 subscribers and 5 comments. All of the comments say hi or go to my UView page to find out more about Supermax NutriJuice. Right. We have to leave it up. This person clearly needs help, and this comment may spark a huge UView debate or discussion. You are a genius, Fred. Well, time for bed. Eleanor pulls out a CD, blows on it, puts it in a CD player, and starts getting ready for bed. Throughout montage of Eleanor getting ready for bed, we hear the following voiceover. Eleanor, voiceover. You are loved. She brushes and flosses her teeth. You are worthy of love, happiness, money, and success. She clips her nose hairs. You are beautiful, a beautiful, bright, shining light in this dark, dark world. Washes face and puts on face mask. Life is waiting for you to grab it. Eleanor looks nervously out her window and closes her curtains shut tight. Take the big leap into the great beyond. Oops, sorry guys. I lost it. Okay, there we go. Into the great beyond. Eleanor jumps into bed with her green mask still on her face, wraps Fred in her arms, pulls up her sheet and bedspread, and turns out her light. Interior, self-initiated forever sleep rehabilitation program, SIFSRP, headquarters, waiting room day. Eleanor is jolted awake and sees that she is sitting in an all-white minimalist waiting room with all-white chairs, water cooler, and hip-high stacks of all-white paper. Eleanor is breathing quickly, stands up, sits back down because she's about to pass out. She's in the middle of a panic attack. What the heck? Lydia, a young woman who is brisk and all business with an odd way about her, enters the room wearing an all-white skirt, suit, and shoes. Wonderful, you finally landed. We were waiting. Landed? Yes, please. Lydia indicates that Eleanor should follow her. What do you mean landed? Lydia grabs a large stack of the white paper resting on the floor and walks out of the room. Eleanor calls after her. Hello? What do you mean? What is this place? Where am I? Please follow me. Eleanor looks around the waiting room. The only door is the one that Lydia entered and exited through. Eleanor runs after Lydia. Am I dreaming? That is an unfortunate no. Okay, well, I almost never leave my house, except this morning. I think it was this morning. Ow! Eleanor reaches up and tenderly touches the side of her head, which apparently hurts. She then begins patting her entire body as she follows Lydia down a long white hall. What is wrong with me? Why do I hurt everywhere? Is this the hospital? How long have I been here? You only just landed. However, you have been up there for a while. Lydia points upward, and Eleanor's eyes follow the direction of Lydia's hand. On the ceiling? Further. On the roof? Lydia sighs and stops outside a large white door with a large white plaque that reads Miss Mona Ramona, head of the Self-Initiated Forever Sleep Rehabilitation Program. Eleanor spells out the acronym SIFSR. SIFSRP. That's what we call it. SIFSRP. Easier to say. SIFSRP. Right. Lydia knocks and opens the door. Miss Mona Ramona, a general of a woman with a piercing stare that calculates and catalogs everyone and everything. She is clipped in her language and has odd mannerisms. Is sitting behind a white desk, reading through a stack of blank white papers and drawing figures and calculations in the air. Eleanor has landed. Leave us. Lydia nods, steps out of the room, and closes the door. Eleanor tries to speak, but Miss Ramona cuts her off before she can. Time is of the essence. You have 24 hours to have a revelation about why you self-initiated and to take the big leap into the great beyond, or you will dissipate into the atmosphere and be irreparably shattered into billions of pieces. Eleanor stares at Miss Ramona, speechless and shocked. Take this. Miss Ramona hands Eleanor a black plastic bracelet, Link. This link will lose its color 30 minutes before Dissipation. Eleanor takes the link and stares at it. Miss Ramona takes it back and shoves it onto Eleanor's wrist. Revelate or dissipate. Miss Ramona motions for Eleanor to leave the room. Lydia! Wait, please, I don't understand. What is this? Where am I? What does this mean? I don't understand. Am I dead? You self-initiated. You landed. You are taking up precious space in our atmosphere and must leap or dissipate. Revelate or dissipate. Lydia enters the room and Miss Ramona goes back to her calculations in the air and reading through her new stack of blank white papers. Lydia drags Eleanor out of the office. Exterior, Sifsurp courtyard day. Eleanor is in shock and stops to stare at a fountain in the center of the courtyard. There are other people walking silently. Some people are sitting and meditating. One woman crosses the courtyard and is headed right toward Eleanor and Lydia. Jules, a female version of Judd Nelson's character in The Breakfast Club, she high-fives everyone she walks by, and they all respond, "Hey, Jules." Headed to the Revelation room? "See you, Jules." Jules breezes by Eleanor and Lydia and catches Eleanor's eye. Lydia yells after her, "Leave it, Jules." Jules flips off Lydia and disappears into a room off a hallway that branches off the courtyard. Interior Revelation room day. Lydia guides Eleanor into a room with a plaque that reads Revelation room. Revelation. Uncle, a large middle-aged man with a big beard, bright eyes, and smile, is talking to a group of men and women seated on the floor in a circle. Uncle resembles everyone's favorite uncle. We certainly are getting somewhere, Zach. Remember, you are loved and never judged when you believe in yourself. Together, we can all move forward and take that big leap. No dissipation in this group, only revelation. The group mumbles in agreement. Uncle notices Eleanor. "Ah, our newest member has landed. Welcome." Lydia forces Eleanor to sit down and join the circle of people on the ground. Eleanor tries to grab at her to keep her from leaving, but Lydia slaps her hand and walks swiftly out of the room. Eleanor is in the midst of a panic attack. Have I been abducted by aliens? Where am I? Am I dead? What is happening to me? Eleanor, you self-initiated this morning. Don't you remember? The bus? The woman with the pink sweater? Remember? You jumped. Eleanor looks around the room for a friendly face. Some people are staring at her with a knowing look. Some people are staring at the ground, embarrassed for her. Eleanor starts to remember. Oh, God, the bus. That's what happened. I must be on some crazy drugs at the hospital. I got hit by a bus. Eleanor gets up and starts jumping up and down excitedly, explaining to everyone in the group, I got hit by the bus. Eleanor, you self-initiated. That's why you landed here. Why does everyone keep saying that? What the heck do you mean? You killed yourself. Your energy landed here. Now you need to revelate or dissipate. Take the big leap or disappear. The big leap? That's my YouView channel. You all watch it here? Everyone stares at her with confused looks on their faces. Oh, well, it's a big deal where I come from. I just thought, wait a minute, is this all just happening in my head? Eleanor, let me introduce you to Marcus. Marcus, please tell Eleanor how you self-initiated. Marcus, a soft-spoken young man with a nervous tic, looks slightly uncomfortable, then replies, Harry carried myself with a shard of glass after I killed my parents with a sledgehammer. Did you know this before Marcus told you? Eleanor shakes her head no. You don't know what Harry carry means, do you? Eleanor shakes her head again. Good, now can we move forward? Aliens. Now, tell us how you self-initiated, Eleanor. Well, firstly, I didn't kill or self-initiate myself. I jumped in front of a bus by accident. I didn't realize the bus was coming. That's what everyone says in the beginning. Please tell us everything about this morning.
Okay, let's stop there.
Okay.
What'd you learn, Ayana?
Should I stop sharing? Oh, no. Sorry. April, you're muted.
Leave it up. You can leave it up.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, that was like, I got really nervous because I realized you have the full script and I just sent like the first two scenes to to April a few minutes ago. So like I started getting so nervous as you were reading through. I feel like it was like my own insanity, like on paper. So that I learned to breathe through someone else reading something I don't know that I was like ready for other people to hear. So that was a good thing.
Yeah.
Work through that. Yeah.
What else did you learn?
I think I need to process for a minute.
Okay. Did you get my chat that I sent to you?
No. Oh, you sent me a chat?
Let me stop share
How
so
do
you can
I-
see it.
Yeah, stop sharing.
Share. Yeah, go ahead. Now
Hi, Jill.
Oh, okay. How do I see?
there's like a chat button on the bottom,
Okay.
and then it opens up on the side.
When we opened, I basically said, so you just wrote a story about your agoraphobic, crazy YouTube writing coach who stays at home.
Oh my God, did I write it about you? Nice.
Just the first two sentences, I was like, why is she writing about my life? That woman is crazy.
Watching me?
That woman is crazy. She's like, and just be your better self. I was like, how does she know my business? I'm gonna beat her ass.
That's so funny.
She used me as content. I was like, right, the crazy life coach. Right.
Yeah, I watch so many like self-help YouTube videos, and so yeah.
She was scarily like me though.
Oh, that's so funny.
Because it's very easy to become an agoraphobic when you work from home. You're like, well, I go out. I have a window.
I don't need to. Yeah, exactly. I can order everything in. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I turned off my video because my cat decided that like this was journal time.
Yeah.
When I sit in this corner, journal time this is the corner, and I journal, and that means she sits in my lap and tries to eat.
That's what my cat does.
There's a process here, and the computer has to go usually. But today she's like, "What's the problem? The computer's staying. You're talking to other people, whatever." Okay. You have to process what? That it was good writing?
Oh, that's nice. Thanks. Yeah, I think I'm just not used to other people reading what I'm writing. So that was, and reading it out loud, it was oddly like really embarrassing. Like I was shaking. I was like so embarrassed about it.
Well, that's why we do it.
Knows I'm crazy now. Like this is the stuff that comes out of my head.
That's what you do in writers retreats, and
yeah,
you read it. Usually they make you read it yourself, which is horrific. But it's so you can hear it because you're writing material that's meant to be performed. Yeah. And it was exciting and gripping for the moment we started. I was like, you couldn't see my face, but I was like, what? I usually mute myself because I'm very, very loud, and I don't want to like disrupt people and stuff. Like everybody knows I'm pretty loud. And it was funny as shit.
Nice. Awesome.
So this thing that you refer to as your madness coming out of your head, that's called writing, not madness.
Okay, cool.
That's what writing is.
Yeah.
Telling a story with high stakes. And I was like, what is it? What was it?
Miss Ramona.
Oh my God, I can't with you right now. I can't with you right now. Or what is it? Rejuvenate, renovate. What's the phrase?
Revelate or dissipate. Yeah.
Oh my God. Can you guys see me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay, so I got to act like a normal person. Okay, I was like, she is so ignorant. I love it.
So funny.
I love it. Revelate or dissipate. Okay, I think I'm gonna make a badge out of that and share it on social media because, and I will credit you, Iona, because you're fucking genius.
That is awesome.
So I think that once you get to Miss Ramona, okay, that those beats scene by scene that we get into, you need to tighten because you're playing the same beat over and over again.
Okay.
Meaning nothing new happens.
Okay.
So if you're going to have each of these new characters being introduced, right? And I always say 15-page script, every character should be introduced in the first 3 pages.
Okay.
So if you introduce people after that, they have to have a real purpose that drives the script. They have to create a problem for her that moves her through her process. And it got a little less active as she moved from room to room. Because everybody, basically, they all just kept saying, do this or dissipate. Revelate.
Right.
Revelate. Nothing happened.
Okay.
So we need something to happen. The beginning is hot smoking. I wanted to stay in it. It was just like you or Chito, I wanted to stay in it. So you guys do listen to me sometimes.
Yeah, totally.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool. Good work, Iona. So Iona, I think that we should start looking for a DP for you so we can shoot next month.
Yeah.
Kristen's like, she's moving really fast. I was like, oh yeah. I mean, we got to raise some money, but we could do a Kickstarter in like a week.
Oh yeah, that's no problem.
No, I raised $100,000 in 30 days.
You're you. Like you.
Yes, but that's why you're studying with me, because I'm going to teach you how I did that. Holla back. Holla back. I actually have a class already pre-recorded that you're going to get. And our coaching session, that's what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
It's time to start raising a budget. All right, hiring team.
Got it.
Get on this ride, baby.
Okay.
We don't just sit around and talk about it. We're going to do it.
Yeah, we do
It's going to be done. And what do you need for this? $15,000? Yeah, I've done that in my sleep. We can do that a weekend. You just got to have a pitch. So you just got to have a pitch.
Okay.
You do that.
Are you in New York or Los Angeles, Iona?
I'm in Denver.
Denver. Wow.
Yeah.
So you don't have all the competition on social media, and you're cute, Asian-looking white girl.
I know. We got this conversation.
All in Denver, all the casting directors think that she's Asian because everybody's so white there. And I was like, they think you're what? You're not Asian. That's cray. Girl, you need to make a movie.
I know. It's so funny.
You need to make a movie about that. I'm a white person in Denver, and they keep mistaking me for Asian. Yeah. That's hilarious. Nicely done. We're making a movie next month. All right.
Awesome. Thank you.
Keep up, people. We got things to do. Kiana's like, you ain't put my ass up there. I just went out. Shit. I just found out about the class this morning. I ain't eat shit. Shit. You must be, I'm an observer. Shit. Put me on the spot. I haven't even done my hair yet. And I have a lot of hair. That takes time. I'm on West Coast time. We ease into this shit. We don't just like wake up and go, I think I'll write a story for you, April. Okay. That's all right. Cynthia? Do you have something to share with us? I know you do.
I have a little something.
Okay, you can share that little something. Did you send it to me?
I haven't sent it to you, but I'm going to do that right now.
Send it to me. Joel, do you have something you want to share?
I don't have anything for today, but next class I might have something.
Well, next class ain't free, but that's okay. We can talk about that.
Okay.
You know how this works.
Yeah,
Joel just finished my on-camera class, and he's just coming back for more. He's got glutton for punishment.
I do.
I know, you really are. You really are. I'm glad to see you. Welcome. I like your new haircut.
Thank you.
It works for you.
Yeah, thank you.
It worked. What was the last scene that you did in class? It was really on point.
It was with Issa.
Was it Insecure?
Yes.
You were playing Lawrence.
I was playing Lawrence.
You actually are really a lot like him. At least in that scene, I was like, he's totally like really chill hipster dude. It's like everybody's really a little too animated. I know we're about to have a car accident, but everybody just calm down, okay? Like, you're totally. You were great in that scene. I mean,
thank you. I thank you so much.
You can't take the black man's job, but just know that there is a role out there for you.
I'm looking for it.
Master of None, actually.
Oh, okay.
You would be great. Check out that show. You would be great on that show.
I'll check it out. Absolutely.
And what are we waiting for? We're waiting for Cynthia to find. Cynthia also has a little bit of the Iono-Sheetal disease, which is, I have 16 things I'm working on at the same time. Because she's really, really smart. All right, where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
All right. Send it to the same email that we're using for. Okay.
Send it to me. Yep.
All right.
Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
How can you be certain about the high stakes, like when you're really tackling the area that's really high stakes?
Well, I would start with journaling every morning, and you should journal.
Okay.
Okay. I am a crazy person, and journaling is a part of keeping me from being crazy. But also, your crazy is your writing. It's the juiciest part of you.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
It's your crazy is fearless.
Fearless. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like I always tell my business. It's like I tell my psychiatrist. I was like, okay, I know you need to calm me down, but will I still be able to access my crazy because I got to write? And it's like, yes, just not all the time, so that we're all protected. And I'm like, okay, good, because I want y'all to be protected. My crazy gonna be all the time. I was like, so what pill do we have that I can get? Just give me that pill, right? So okay. And he's like, take it at night so you'll have access to your crazy. You're right. I was like, thank you so much. You are such a good guy. And he's like, get out of my office. I was like, you're crazy. You're right. Your crazy is the juiciest part. Your crazy is not afraid.
Yeah.
And why do people tell stories? People tell stories because it's the shit that's in their head that's going on that they're afraid to say out loud. And when you tell a story, other people are like, yeah, that shit is happening to me, but I wasn't going to tell anybody. But now that you told me it's happening to you, I feel so much better. Right? It links our humanity. It gives us courage. It helps us see ourselves. So you never want to get rid of your crazy, but you should keep your crazy medicated.
Keep my crazy medicated.
If you need it. I'm not saying everybody needs it.
Yeah.
I know I do. You may not. But don't push your crazy into a corner.
Okay.
That's the juicy part of you. As Pima children, every time I talk about a book, you need to go buy it. Hi, Garland. Garland is another glutton for punishment. Garland, you're already in another class. Why are you here?
Because I got the email. Why are you even
on that list? Okay, listen, people. When you are doing something, sign up for one list at a time. If you're going to sign up for another list, jump off the other list. Because then I'll get emails. Oh my God, April, I get emails from you like 7 times a day. Ain't nobody told you. And then I go look you up. And ain't nobody told you to sign up for 7 different fucking lists. They're all different subject matter. One is outlines. One is raising money. One is on camera. One is getting the agent. Why you don't sign up? You can't do all that shit at once. And what happens is you get all this shit in your inbox. And because it's so much shit, you're like, I just can't do anything. That's how the mind works. So go to the next email you get. Go down to the bottom. I know y'all not going to do this, but I'm going to tell you to do it anyway. Go down to the bottom of that email, and it says preferences. And you can choose which list you want to be on and take yourself off of. If you are on the list for more than one writing class, you're a crazy person, and you should remove that right now. If you're on the list for more than one acting class, you're a crazy person that's not going to get anything done. You need to remove yourself from that list. And never, ever send me an email that I'm getting too many emails, because that's not on me.
That's funny. I have a question, April.
Oh my God.
Actually.
What is it?
So, I know that it's good to start writing from the point of view of like your own experience, something that you know. And like you said, I appreciate the idea of keeping it simple, because my brain goes into multi paths and I can't seem to narrow it down. But one thing I have been just wondering about is, how do you navigate when you are writing from personal experiences and the people that you're writing about know that you're writing about them?
Well, first of all, everybody, Iona, open your email for me, please. I sent you something. Everybody is writing for personal experience. Let's go back to stakes. This links Joel's. My client, David Newer, who I went to graduate school with, we were in grad school years ago, which we won't go into numbers, but it's more than 10 years, and we were talking about a solo show. In the interim, I done wrote 2 plays, done a solo show, and done some movies. He'll still talk about, I really want to do this solo show. And I just turned to him one day and I was like, what the fuck is your problem? We've been talking about this since college. This is old, player. It's real old. Let it go. He was like, I was like, if you talk to me about it one more time, I know you're my friend, I'm going to charge you $300. And he went, cool. Let's, can we get another drink over here? And I was like, great. Then he emailed me a week later and he was like, how can I buy a private coaching package? And I was like, oh, I can help you do that. I'm happy to take your money. I always like, hey. And he was my acting partner through most of graduate school. And he was the only white man that called me a bitch in acting class. And so we became really good friends. Because I was like, oh, you's a white man with some really big balls. Really big balls. And he was like, yeah, everybody else is afraid of you. I'm not having that bullshit. I'm David Newer. I'm good looking. The women want me. I'm like, yeah, I know. So we started working on his script. And I finally figured out what the delay was. He was worried about talking about his father. And so I just had him come and record himself. And I would just listen to him. And he was like, did I have to talk about this? I was like, yes, you should. What is it that you don't want to talk about? What is it? I was like, he gone now, you can write it. That's why he didn't write it in grad school. And I was like, but you would have reconciled so much if you wrote it while he was alive. All my plays are about my family. Every character you see me play on stage and TV and film is about my family. How could it not be?
Right.
You can't play what you don't know.
True. Very true.
So here's what I learned. It took 8 coaching sessions to get to the. I was like, no, David, what? I like you on everything, but damn, what? We're past that. Are we going to date stage? So why you still giving me your money? I know you like hanging out with me. We friends. You come over, we do cocktails, whatever. You got a wife. Tell her your problems. I was like, his father was racist.
Oh, wow.
Against Black people. And I was like, so you pick a fucking Black woman to help you write that story? What the fuck is wrong with you? You could have told that to a white person. It would have been so much easier. Oh my God. I used to have a white therapist who was like, and I would be like, I just really need to talk about race. And she'd be like, do you feel comfortable talking to me about that? I might not be equipped. I was like, I'll let you know when it's a problem. And then I was like, it's a problem because your answers are not helping me. You're like, and it doesn't matter. We love each other. I was like, no, I love you. You got to go. I need a Black woman. I can't help you. And so I said to David, I was like, dude, he's a racist. He's a racist. Don't white people talk to each other about other races? You ain't got to talk to me. And he was like, well, I know that you kicked my ass and made me talk about it. And I was like, okay, so write the scene about your dad being a racist, but also write other scenes where he did amazing things for you. And you can always change names. It doesn't have to be your family. You can augment. Don't worry about that. And don't tell motherfuckers you're writing. That ain't goddamn business. You know whose business that is? Yours and me, who's taking your money and making you write 25 pages a week. And I will make you write 25 pages a week. Ask Cynthia. You will write 25 pages a week. And if you don't, I'll put you on a writer's retreat for 16 hours where you'll write the 50 pages then.
That was fun too.
We were like, oh, we're doing a writer's retreat. I was like, do we get lunch? I was like, it's a fucking writer's retreat. It's a motherfucking sandwich. If you want to take a break, you could have stayed your ass home and not written. They were like, we don't get lunch. I was like, there's a bagel on the table and some coffee. You got a pillow, you got a couch. Fucking right. I gave you the exercise.
Oh, God.
And then it's so hard. I was like, to sit here in a nice house, writing, drinking Cuban coffee and bagels and fruit.
It's that fear. It's that fear of just allowing yourself to.
Ain't nobody gonna
write.
read it. Just write.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Just write. And everybody in the room is having the same fucking problem. But you don't know how to
Yeah,
write,
right.
but not writing.
Yeah.
So once David got past this thing, and I was like, so you got your black coach to talk about your racist dad so that you could get absolution and be forgiven by a black person for him being racist. And he was like, you're so fucked up. I was like, well, I'm just asking. I just want to be clear. And he was like, no. I was like, anyway, it doesn't matter that your dad was racist. I don't take that personally. He made you, and you're a magnificent person. So he did something right. Shit, half the white men I've dated, their families were so racist that I hold that against them. I say, you need to deal with them white people. You got some problems. They're not my problems.
Man.
That's on y'all. Once he got past that, it was like this amazing show. It's amazing. But you have to get past it. And I always tell people, you write the story initially using the characters' names, even if it's people you know. You use their names. Shit, I didn't tell my family I was writing about them, but I did get them to sign releases saying that I could write about them. And they were like, this little bitch. But, you know, motherfuckers be like, if that blow up and you get some money, I'm gonna get my cut. They like, and it was like, they were like, you won't write some shit about me? I was like, listen, do you know what kind of family I was raised in? They're like, we do. I was like, do you know the things that you guys did to me? Cussing out white people in all white school, sitting in sit-ins and getting arrested, all that shit y'all did? They're like, yeah. So what do you expect my story to be? And my aunt was like, tell the truth and get us some money, girl. Just get that money. Get that money. We were fucking crazy. Just tell the truth and get that money. Get the money. And I was like, you know I'm right about the grandma with the gun, right? Did she put it? Okay. They're like, well, it happened. That was my great aunt. It happened. Right. It's like, you know I'm right about the gun in your divan, right? I have a divan in my new apartment. Can you see it? Ooh. Okay. It's a tradition that when you become a grand dame in my family, all the women have divans in their bedrooms or their living rooms. And they sit there in a whole court. Well, my nana, my great-grandmother, and my aunt, my great-aunt, all have divans. And you know what's behind them pillows?
Guns.
Oh, 45, baby.
45.
They live in Florida. Stand your ground.
Yeah.
They live in Florida.
Yeah.
Stand your ground.
Wow.
And
Crazy.
there was Klan meeting for cross burning 3 blocks from my house when I was a kid.
Wow.
So that's why all America was like, stand your ground. That's so evil. I was like, none of you black.
Right?
Trey, my mama should have had a gun because my grown still got guns. They'd sit on the front porch. They'd be like, they having a Klan. They get on the hotline and call their neighbor around the corner. Did you see them motherfuckers driving up their car? Did they burn the cross? Yes, girl. I'm sitting on my porch. All these little old ladies sitting on their porches with guns in their laps, rocking and drinking tea. And all the men sitting on the lawns with shotguns. This is my Florida. This is my Miami.
Yeah.
Right? So my family was like, well, what's she gonna do? I didn't even have to be a great writer. I could just say what they did.
Yeah.
And then I changed their names and dates. What happens with my clients, the ones who are always worried about their families, I'm gonna tell you another story of Juan Villa, who wrote Empanada for a Dream and a couple other plays. He's just shot The Blacklist. He's a writer-performer.
Oh.
And Juan Villa wrote a play about his family. Okay.
Crazy ass family.
All right. And the Colombian drug cartel.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. There's David, who I was telling you about. See, he's a hot white dude.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, and this is Juan, who's also a hot white Latin dude. And I was like, y'all better go make some money and stop worrying about who gonna see some shit. You white, you a man. Get paid. Write the fucking story. Jesus Christ, use your privilege. Make me some money. Okay. Anyway, Juan's major concern was, my family, I don't know. And I was like, well, what is that? In the Colombian drug cartel? He was like, yeah, how did you know? I was like, I'm from Miami. And he was like, oh. I was like, so want to write the story. You change the names, you change the dates, you change all of that. It was a block. It was a block. It was a block. It was a block. Finally, one afternoon, he was taking his writing class, same writing class you guys are taking right now. And he was writing around the story, talking about his grandmother, telling the stories of how the company was built. And I just turned to him and I asked him in Spanish, like his grandmother, to tell me what I knew. And I spoke in Spanish, like his grandmother. I was just like, and he responded without even thinking in Spanish. And I was like, you are hearing the story as it happened as a kid. You are hearing the truth of it in your mind. You just needed that trigger. Me talking to you in English was not going to get it, right? I can't write stories about my grandfather without talking, and I have to write it in Spanish first or record it in Spanish, and then I can find the English equivalent because that's the truth of that person. And after that class, he wrote pages and pages and pages, and 6 months later was doing his solo show off Broadway in New York. And I go to the solo show, and the uncle, who he was so worried about, people who kill people, you know, Colombian drug cartels, people kill people,
Right.
was sitting in the front row. Yeah. And Juan, who was so concerned about, I'm scared of my family, I'm going to change their identities. I don't want to tell too much. I was like, well, you won't. Just change everything. I had not seen the final draft. The final draft, he didn't change a goddamn thing. He told everything. I was like, you were the main person. You took writing classes with me for like almost a year. You're the main person who was like, who's going to arrest somebody who's the head of a Colombian drug cartel? No one. The statute of limitations is passed. Coño, come on. Just do it. So he did it. And clearly the man that he is talking about is sitting in the front row.
That's
This. It's gripping. It's truth. It's amazing. What other people think you're capable of is none of your goddamn business. Repeat after me. What other people think you're capable of
what other people think you're capable of
is none of your goddamn business. Your only concern here is to tell your truth and live this life fully and out loud and do what you were put here to do. You don't have to repeat that, Joel, but if it helps you. That's the only thing that's gonna make you happy. And stop telling other people your business. Anybody that can't help you, they got to go. They got to go.
Yeah.
They can't support your interests, working extra jobs so you can take time off to write. You got to go. Why are you cooking and giving up the nook? All the people that help you are supporting your dream. And if they're not 100% supporting your dream, check them the fuck out. And don't tell anybody you're writing. I'm not going to tell anybody you're writing until it's done and you're like famous and shit. And I'll be like, I knew her. Yeah, she took my class. You take my class, that might happen to you too. But otherwise, if you work fucking hard. I love when people take my classes and like, and I saw so-and-so and you did this amazing thing for them because Juan tells everybody what I did. And I was like, Juan, do you warn these people? He's like, yeah, I try to, but sometimes they don't know. I was like, because clearly he's like, yeah, I sent one woman to it. She wasn't ready. I was like, yeah, that bitch got ate up in like class number 2. Can do it. And he's like, yeah, I tell people, you know, she's tough, but they never believe me. And I was like, what are we here to do? Talk about your problems? All right. And she's like, can you help me do what Juan did? If you work like a motherfucker and pay me. I'll give you a payment plan. But taking 16 of my free classes is not going to get your script written. You just got to get your ass up every Saturday morning and fucking do it. It's at 10 a.m. for a reason. You have nothing else to do at 10 a.m. Nothing. It's like, get your ass up and write. That's it. And the rest of your day will be amazing. Cynthia, are you ready? Did we lose Cynthia?
Where'd she go?
All right. Cynthia, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
I just sent you the new version. I accidentally sent you the old one. I'm sorry.
Okay, you always
But,
do this. You always, you like to do this, right? You like to, okay. This is a neurotic writer thing. Oh, that version's not going to be any good. Let me I want you to get this version. Right. I planned class around one version, but I just, did you load that yet? Because I already loaded it and gave you notes. Well, this is the right version. Too late. Let it go. You're going to be writing forever. Okay, so now I guess I got to read this madness. Okay. All right. Cynthia always makes me work. Always. It's never easy. It's never easy, but she does toast bagels during the retreat really well. So that's like her claim to fucking fame. So and get in my business. Mm-hmm. That's
girl.
all. Yeah, she learned my secret at that retreat. That I had a hidden man. She was like, I'm gonna find out who he is. I'm gonna follow her downstairs when she get in that car. She blew up my spot, yo. She blew up my spot. All right. Interior. Phil's Ami family living room evening. It's dark. Can you all see this?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
A space so big in visual, yet as the matriarch of the family, Rochelle Phil's Ami sits on the sofa with the end table lamp on, lighting one side of her face. The space of that room seems small, crowded, even suffocating. Decorated to the brim, Rochelle is wiping tears as she stares past us. She picks up the phone that shares space on the end table with the lamp and begins to dial numbers. We hear the sound of the phone on the other end ringing. After 5 rings and the sound of a long beep, we hear a voice. It's Vanessa's Phil's Ami, Rochelle's daughter. Now, how do I scroll down in this? I can't figure out how. Do I go to the next? Do I go to the next scene?
Yes.
Is that how? Oh, okay. Okay, I have to have Celtics to do this, and I don't.
Oh no! Is it? Because I thought it exported as a PDF.
Mm-mm. So let me move in it. It's in Celtics.
Okay.
I've dealt with Celtics before. It's a fucking pain in the ass. I'd either buy Final Draft or just write in Word. It's just not worth the trouble. Celtics is making people spend their money, and they make it difficult. It's not really free anymore. And then it's not compatible with other things. They say it is. It's not.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And when you're making a film, if you send it, Final Draft is industry standard. So when you're making a film, if you send it to your team and it's in Celtics and somebody can't open it, which most people won't, it'll be like a pain in the ass and put your production process. It will slow it down. So just do Word, which can convert to a PDF, or move to Final Draft. Ask for it for Christmas.
Oh yeah, I have Final Draft. I still haven't given myself the time to learn it, but
yeah, do Final Draft.
I have here. I'll send you this one because I have a better version. I downloaded it now.
We're running out of time, darling. So
yeah.
Let me talk about this class, which is
Go ahead.
part of why we're here, yo. So
wait, go ahead.
This is basically how the class works. Every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I prefer that people use the, look at you guys, use the Zoom video, but you can also call in if that makes it easier, if you don't have the reception. And we work on our scripts, and everybody brings their new writing until the shit is done. And then I give you notes, and then we fix it. And then we set a goal. Like I've already told Iona, and she told that we'll be making 2 films this year. Iona starting next month. We're not here to just talk about writing or have a creative writing workshop. We're here to finish a project so you can star in it. The end. Or you can produce it, or you can direct it. We're here to finish it in the quickest amount of time. So I'm basically your editor, helping you fix and tighten quickly. That along with the process of hearing it read out loud. So this class is going on sale. I only open it for sales because I like to keep class under 8 people. So I open it up for sales every now and then. There are currently, Shito, how many people enrolled? So we have Shito, Hillary, we have 4. They're not all here today. So I can take 4 more people. The class is $3.99. It's on the page that you're on now that you went. You just scroll all the way down to the bottom. And you get a lot of free goodies if you register by the end of this class today. And here we go. You'll get membership in the Badass Writers Members Only page, where you get free classes, feedback on your script, writers tips. It's a members only page that you'll check in every week. You'll get weekly blogs with writer grants, submission tips, writer videos. Yes, I will send you all my videos over and over and over again. It'll be so exciting. You'll get access to the video recording of the 90-minute Badass Writers class, this one and another one. And you will get a free recording, this is a sexy one, of the class that Cynthia took, the 14-hour writer's retreat, focus, finish, and fund your script. We will send you the entire recording so you can do a little retreat on your own. And then you get a free one-on-one writer coaching session with me. I am also including installment plans, which are changing because people are making me crazy with installment plans. So if you register today, you have the option to pay for this class in 4 payments of $108 every 2 weeks. Or every 3 weeks, 2 payments of $144.64. Or every month, $216.96. These other 2 installment plans, the 3 one and the 4 one, those go away as soon as this class ends. Because people are taking me to the bridge with installment payment plans. They're making it's a convenience for people, and it's making more work for me. So you took the time to come and invest in this class today. I will keep this up for another 15 minutes. I would suggest you get a hold of that 108 ASAP. You just click on the installment plan that you want, sign up for installment plan. It takes you to PayPal. You put in your credit card. Everybody's happy. And then it will automatically bill your card. If you don't have a PayPal, you can just put in your credit card. It's no extra fee. Or you can use PayPal credit. You just click on the link to do that. Oh no, my show is starting again. So that's the deal. You got to taste of how it goes. We work differently each week when the other folks come on. Every writer is going to have a different process. Like Justine is doing all of hers by recording. So when she comes in, we have her record as characters. You can do that if that helps you. It depends on where you are in your development. My goal is to get you writing. So I'm going to adapt my strategy to the client. And anybody who's worked with me for a long time, like Sheetal, you know, I just wiggle around it. Okay, that's not working for you. It may work for somebody else. Let's do something else. I don't have this methodology that I'm like, these are the 5 steps of Meisner. Everybody must do it like this or you are a failure. Mm-hmm. I used to have that. And I was like, that doesn't work for every student. Like, Ron would have never written his show if I hadn't spoken to him in Spanish that day in character. That's just what he needed. So that's a skinny yodi. Questions, thoughts, comments? Who's signing up for the class?
I'm already in the class.
Sheeta's already in the class. Iona was already in the class.
I would love to take the class, but I can't afford it at this time.
Okay.
Same here.
Okay.
I'm going to finish off the acting class first. Same thing. Get that
Okay,
taken
yeah.
care of in that
Okay.
hall.
Yes. You in too many classes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the dealio. Do we have questions about writing in general before we knock off?
Would you agree that?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No problem. Would you agree that April, that really it's mostly like 99.9% 0.5 or 9 or whatever % fear that stops people from writing?
Yeah, that, and I don't know how.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how. I didn't know how.
Mm-hmm.
I used to put my pen to the paper and I'd break out in tears and start sweating and my hands would start shaking. Somebody told me a long time ago. That was my father who read something that I wrote. He corrected typos and said, never sit down with typos again. That's all he said. So I was like, oh, okay. He didn't mean anything wrong. He was just being like, you know, a 1950s English teacher. Froze me up. So I couldn't write hand to paper. I had to use a recorder. And my writing, I was working on the play called Exonerated, which was it was written directly from the recordings of people who have been on death row. And I was like, oh, and I was doing the workshops of it. And I was like, you can record yourself telling the story and that's writing. And my director was like, yeah, that's writing. However you need to. Mark Twain used to have his assistant record him just talking. That was my way in. And then I teamed up with somebody who had already done what I wanted to do. I paid her at first, and then I was like, okay, let's just share the credit and write this play together. I will talk into the recorder, you will do structure. We need to add characters, we'll share that. You know, we need to fine tune characters. And that was just the blank. And that's how I wrote my first play. I always tell people you should never write in a vacuum. No one does. Every playwright, every screenwriter has one friend that is their sounding board. Some people go to lots of retreats and get lots of input from the people. I'm like, fuck that. I don't know you, you don't know me, and I don't know what the fuck you done done. So I look for people whose writing I admire. I love Marcus Garvey's writing. I like Jessica Blank's writing. They're my sounding board. I pay them to look at shit, period, because I want it to be good. It also shortens your writing time when you're paying somebody.
Yeah.
You have somebody you're accountable to, and you're spending your money. You're gonna finish it.
Yep.
You're gonna finish it. You know, you're gonna finish it. If we say, okay, if I decide, you know what, this film needs to go to Sundance, like Sheetal and Iona's films, they need to be submitted to Sundance. They don't know that yet, but they're gonna find out. Which means they're now on a tight schedule. Sundance's next deadline is January. We got to write it, raise the money, shoot it, and then edit it. Okay? Okay. I'm good. You good? I mean, if you're feeling sexy, we can go for the November deadline and skip the lab. I'm trying to help you help you.
Okay. Throw down the gauntlet. Okay.
That's right. You're not paying me for nothing. This isn't one of those woo-woo classes where you're like, I'm just going to feel good. I was like, I'm also a producer. I make movies.
Yeah.
So, and we make all of our movies in 18 days or less. I do not fuck around. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
Unless you tell me, I just want to do journal writing. I'll take your money. But at some point, I'm going to tell you, you know, you have permission to like write and make something. You do. Any other questions?
Not yet.
No.
Kiana, you better call home. ET better phone home. You need to take this class.
I know.
Ask Hillary. Ask Hillary how she raised funds.
Oh, yeah.
Hillary was like an actress friend of mine of the last 15 years who's like brilliant and had just finished shooting an HBO movie and was on the press junket and taking pictures and came to visit. I was like, oh, you're like a fucking movie star on the red carpet. And I was like, okay, so when are you going to star in a movie? And she was like, damn, April. I was like, we're on a roll here. You know, I'm always like, yeah, let me go star in a movie. And she was like, I got things on my mind. I was like, when we gonna start a movie?
Right.
So then 2 months later, she's like, okay, I'm ready to write. Okay, I'm gonna write, okay? I'm gonna write. I was like, sure, great. Well, let's set up a meeting we had a little half-hour meeting. I gave her 16 books to read and people to research so that she would ground the story in reality. And she was interested in the civil rights movement and women who were activists in the labor movement in the 40s and, you know, their lives and were they secretly lesbians and because the husband's at work. And I was like, probably, let's find out. So she did 3 weeks of research and she calls me back. She goes, okay, let's write. I was like, great, let's set up some Zoom sessions. She's like, no, I need a retreat. I was like, well, I'm not doing them for a while. She's like, no, I need a retreat just for me. I was like, well, that's a lot of money. She's, and I'm gonna do it in person, otherwise I'll never do it. I was like, I'm sorry. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna fly there and we're gonna have a retreat for 3 days. How much does that cost? I was like, and she was like, you started this, okay? She's like, you want, we're gonna make a movie and you're gonna start in it right now. And she's like, and then you just gave me 6 months of homework that I have to do in 3 weeks. So yeah, I already told my husband I'm getting a cheap ticket. I was like, what you gonna do with your child? He and my husband will figure it out. I was like, oh shit, damn, okay. And we figured it out, and she came to my house, and for 3 days we sat in my house, and we wrote, and I gave her notes, and then she wrote, and then I gave her notes, and then she wrote, and then I gave her notes. And I was like, great, all right, Sunday, you're on a plane, I want you to go back to LA, and at the end of the week, I need you to send me a draft of this. She went, what? I said, yes, a full draft. I got an email every single day that week. I just think that this is really bad. And then I was like, right, the draft is due Friday. But then I was like, can you ask me with this question? Right, the draft is due Friday. But then I don't even know that it was like, stop thinking, start writing. The time that you spent to write this email, you've written 20 pages. The draft is due Friday. I already took your money. Now, your husband's gonna wanna know what all that money was for. Because I'm $300 an hour. She's like, yeah, I know. I was like, well, okay. And when she was at my house, she's like Skyping with her family. And I'm like, hi, how are you? And I was like, and I'm saying to her husband, I was like, she's going to have some product. Don't worry. We are going to have product. And he was looking like, no, not a problem. And his face was like, fucking hell yeah. I'm doing all the babysitting. We spent all that damn money. There will be products. So for that week, I was like, I told your husband, and I love him. Y'all flew to Seattle to see me. Y'all my friends. I just took all his money. I do not want that white man mad at me. You have to fucking finish this first draft this week, or he is gonna fuck you up, and then he's gonna fuck me up. She was like, yeah. I was like, most likely he's gonna fuck me up because he loves you. She was like, yeah. She finished the first draft that Friday. I don't know if it's any good. I was like, I don't want to hear about it. Yeah. It's done. 1 week. She had never written a screenplay. That's it. I'll take care of the fear. I'll take care of the payment plan if you can't afford it. I'll kick fear's ass. You just got to decide to do it and stop talking about it. Right. You also have to decide to go hungry. That's just sort of how, when you want something really, 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 really badly, you just have to decide to starve.
Yeah.
When I wrote my second play, I just starved for a year. I wanted a rent-stabilized apartment so that I had big writing salons in my apartment. And I decided on a Monday, and then on Thursday, I had a rent-stabilized apartment, 1,000 square feet in New York City. And people were like, how did you do that? I was like, I fucking decided. I stopped eating. I stopped paying bills. I almost got the electricity turned off. But in 5 days, I had the building I wanted. And they were like, damn. I was like, you just have to decide to do it. Once you decide, angels will come in your pathway and help you. And a broker did. She just found my apartment in 1 day. I just told her, this is what I've decided. You have to decide, and then the universe will send you the wind to support your wings. But you just gotta decide. You gotta decide, I don't fucking know how I'm doing this, but I'm doing it, right? I got jilted at the altar 2 months ago, right before, day before closing the house. I was like, oh, I was having a baby and getting married and buying a house. That's not happening anymore. I think I'm gonna kill myself. Let's get some medication. No, I'm a playwright. I'm going to write plays, teach, and adopt a chocolate black child, either from India or from around the corner in Brooklyn, named Lakeisha. Okay? This is what I'm gonna do. I have no idea how this is gonna happen, but it's the only way I will get a chocolate black child, because the one chocolate black man in the world that I was gonna make one with turned out to be an asshole. Okay, great. Maybe he was an asshole. He taught me that you just have to fucking decide to do it, and angels will come in your way and make it happen.
Yeah.
They just will. Once I decided, people wrote me checks. Don't I owe you money? I was like, I forgot you owe me money. Yeah, I owe you $1,000. That's great. Don't I owe you money? I'm on a payment plan for like the next year and a half. I said, people are on payment plans for me that go on for like several years if you've been studying with me for a long time. Because I get like this. I get like, we have to finish it. They're like, but I don't have the money. I was like, but you have to finish it this year. I have to be done now. They're just like, okay. Like last year, I was like, Shaitan, you have to get all of your hair, your makeup, your outfits. You have to meet all of the agents in town. You have to get a reel and make a short movie. It has to be done now. I don't have the money. Do a payment plan. I don't care. We'll just figure it out. It has to be done now.
Like that guy on, like that guy on boot camp.
Shaitan was like this. Shaitan was like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Her husband would come in behind her after meeting and be like, what is going on in there? She was like, I don't know if I can do it. He was like, hi, April, I have to meet you. I was like, yes, because she was going to do this. He was like, she's very serious. She's serious. Look, a year later, she's still doing it.
Yeah.
I got the star of a motherfucking actor payment plan. I got one client. I call it a $34.99 client. I ain't gonna mention her name. She's like, I've been paying you money forever, for like 5 years. I was like, no, you're not. Because you're gonna book a movie and you're gonna give it a big agency. She booked a movie and now she's with Innovative.
Wow.
She's like, and now I can pay you. I was like, that's right. For the rest of your life. Okay? Just think, I'm making you millions of dollars. Listen, you're gonna be in a Marvel movie next.
Hey.
So you just have to decide not to eat. Before I made anything, before I made Liberty City, before I made Good Bread Alley, and the play that you see in my TED Talk, Liberty City, I starved 4 years to get that done and produce. The very first job that I did for that, I got a grant for $2,500. I got a deal to option it. I got paid as the actor, and I got a percentage of house. I made $20,000. Then the second deal I got in Miami, I made $24,000 in a week. It was worth it.
Hey.
But you have to get it done. And now that play tours, it was just in Chicago, it won an award. They were like, do you want to do it? I was like, can you give me $20,000? They're like, oh, no. I was like, let somebody else do it and send me a check. And then I made money while I slept. You just have to decide. When I tell you I didn't eat, I haven't had cable since Jesus had fat legs as a baby. Okay? I know how not to eat. But when you're up there saying your words, or fuck all that. I mean, I'm past that. I just need to be an artist and I need to express myself. That's beautiful. I'm very happy for you. I just need to be an artist and get a check. And like lots of them, like little residual checks. And I open my mailbox and I go, wow! My neighbors were like, I was like, yes. You have to
April, I have
to
a
make that
question.
happen. What's the question?
Do you have any meditation practices when it comes to your writing? Or even just like to stay centered?
Yes, his name is Dan Bauman, Dr. Daniel Bauman. You want his telephone number? The other meditation treat is, her name is Dr. Michelle Owens. Don't go on Thursdays. I go to her. If you want your privacy, you tell her that I sent you, and she will send you out of a separate entrance when I'm coming in, because I have sent her so many clients. She's like, there's a lot of, I was like, yeah, those last 6 Black girls and the 10 erotic Jewish girls, they're all me. She's like, yeah, they told me that you, and I was like, she's like, I didn't know if you wanted them to know that you were here. I was like, I'm happy for my students to see me walking out of your office and they know they're getting somebody who's not a complete fucking lunatic. But seriously, you don't need to meditate. You just need to do it. I have meditation practices to deal with my depression that are part of my therapy, and talk therapy where I have to be accountable to somebody every week about how much of that have you done? Have you done this? Have you done that? It's been very, 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 very useful. And a coach. I have an acting coach. I have a writing coach. I pay somebody. Just like you pay me, I pay somebody. That's the only way it gets done. Otherwise, you just sit around and you talk about it. And you can fetch about whether or not it's good enough. right? You know, or I have a playwright that I love who's very, 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 very busy because she got a Pulitzer and all this other shit. And I go, can I give you $800 to read this? She's like, now we're talking. Okay. Then it gets done because the Pulitzer Prize winning playwright is reading it for me. That's your meditation practice. Somebody that keeps you accountable. All of this, Ayanna Van Zandt does not have a degree. Okay. So all that bullshit she wrote is exactly that. Bullshit. Accountability is somebody who you meet with once a week who says, okay, this is what the fear is. Okay, let me hold that. Let's move this out of the way. Let me show you how to deal with that. Okay, I want you to do this exercise. And that every time you do an exercise, the fear will abate more and more. That's your meditation.
Okay. That makes sense.
That's it. Yeah, I did Oprah. I did the affirmations. I read Ayanna. And then I opened Pema Chodron's Things Fall Apart. And Pema Chodron is a Buddhist monk. And she was like, get the fuck over yourself. I was like, this is my Buddhism right here. What? She was like, I was like a fucking lunatic. I hit my husband in the head with a rock when I found out that he cheated. I am fucking. She's like, life sometimes sucks. Life is sometimes great. Be in the messy, juicy part and do your practice right.
Right.
That's it. Mm-hmm. That's fucking, I was like, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. And then I read The Places That Scare Us. Ultimately, her line is, get the fuck over it, stop talking about it, and do it. People are suffering everywhere. Just fucking get over yourself and do it. I'm a great coach. If I see you on Facebook talking a lot, when you want a deadline for me, I will call you out on Facebook. One of my clients hates me for that. He won't speak to me. He's like, I think shame-based teaching is just wrong. I was like, but you got a master's degree, right? For free, right? And you got produced for free, right? Okay. Because shame actually was the only thing that was working. You had plenty of time to be on Facebook 18 times a day. All right. Dang. So, and I was like, woo, you got time to be on Facebook. Right in the thread. Now you got time to get me them 20 pages tonight, right? And everybody in the thread was like, oh. Oh. And somebody's like, you wrong. I was like, no, I collect a check. I'm doing my job. My check says that I'm supposed to be doing this right now. And they were like, oh. And then everybody in the thread was like, you better meet your deadline. Yeah. I was like, yeah, because you have a production deal in 3 weeks. See. That's your meditation. Stop eating. Because if you are eating the brown mixed rice from Trader Joe's, they sell it in the frozen section. It's so good. It's $3.99. If you are eating that, and then they have a 5-pound bag of organic chicken wings that are $7.69, you can live on that. Okay? If that is what you are eating, and water and vitamins for 6 months, you will have a coach and you will finish it. That's how I do it. And only see matinee movies at Harlem, Magic Johnson, because they're $6.99. You will do it. I love that mixed brown rice. It has finished many plays. That, and I gave you the numbers. Her name is Dr. Michelle. His name is Dr. Dan Bowden. They don't take any fucking shit. They're like, well, I'm just here for therapy. Dr. Bowden was like, oh, no. We're going to get rid of depression. We have 30 minutes. Let's go. I was like, oh, fuck. He's like, I don't do talk therapy. I get rid of the problem. I was like, he was like, you want to audition and get the part? You're not hanging around just rehearsing for no good reason. I was like, no, sir. He's like, I'm not a sir. I'm gay. Okay. So get it fucking done. And I was like, oh my God, he's totally fucking intense. He was like, the depression shall be gone. So you can live life. And then I was like, I started crying. I was like, I never thought depression would be gone. I thought I have to live with it all my life. He's like, that's ridiculous. Here's some tissue. It will be gone. We're getting rid of it. We are going to kill it. And I was like, best meditation I ever had. Can't meditate while you're fucking depressed and scared.
That's true.
All right, I gotta go. Y'all taking up my whole afternoon. My cats are like crazy. Kristen, you've been quiet. Has this been a fun ride for you since you're the newbie, Kristen?
It really has. Yeah, it really does.
Come do the class.
Thank you so much for everything.
All right, y'all. I'm going to leave it up on that page for another 15 minutes. Then
All right.
that payment plan
Thank
goes
you
away.
both.
Yeah.
Stay strong, stay black, stay white, stay Michigan. All right. Make America great again.
Oh God.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.